Type 2 diabetes is diagnosed by testing your blood glucose, sugar, levels. These tests are usually done in a healthcare provider's office or clinical laboratory. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease that causes abnormal insulin processing in the body, leading to high blood sugar levels. Diabetes affects more than 30 million Americans, and type 2 diabetes accounts for about 90% of diagnosed cases. Your pancreas produces insulin. This hormone is responsible for letting sugar into your cells to use for energy. If you have diabetes, your pancreas cannot produce insulin, or your cells do not respond to insulin. This results in high blood sugar, which can lead to several health risks, including heart disease, blindness, kidney failure, and limb amputation, among many others. Before diving into the main content of the video, we'd like to offer you a completely free gift, 7-day vegan meal plan, jam-packed with over 30 tantalizing plant-based recipes. Embrace a plant-based diet rich in whole grains, fruits, vegetables, and legumes to naturally support blood sugar levels. This is a gift that our team sincerely appreciates your support for, and we wish you truly enjoyable meals. Please click on the link below the video's comments section to download the free ebook and start your new culinary journey. 1. Getting a diabetes diagnosis. A healthcare provider can diagnose type 2 diabetes in its initial stage, prediabetes, by measuring your blood sugar levels. They will do this during your standard yearly physical or during checkups for another health concern. If your blood sugar levels are higher than average, a healthcare provider will order several tests to confirm a diabetes diagnosis. The following are the typical tests that healthcare providers use to diagnose diabetes. 2. A1C Test. An A1C test measures your average blood sugar for the past 2 to 3 months. This test is also called a glycated hemoglobin, glycosylated hemoglobin, hemoglobin A1C, or HbA1c test. An A1C test measures how much of your blood cells are covered with sugar. Sugar grabs onto hemoglobin, or the protein in your blood that carries oxygen, when it enters the bloodstream. Sugar attaching to hemoglobin is a normal biological process. A high amount of sugar-coated hemoglobin puts people at a high risk of prediabetes and diabetes. Your results are reported as a percentage. A healthcare provider will make an assessment of your diagnosis based on the following criteria. Normal, less than 5.7%. Prediabetes, between 5.7% to 6.4%. Diabetes, 6.5% or higher. 3. Oral glucose tolerance test. A healthcare provider will measure your blood sugar before and after drinking a sugary beverage during the oral glucose test. The oral glucose test is meant to test how your body is processing sugar. You'll provide an initial blood sample to a healthcare provider. They will give you a sugary drink containing about 75 grams of sugar. You'll wait 2 hours and provide a second blood sample. The healthcare provider will then measure your sugar tolerance levels. The blood sugar diagnostic measurements of the oral glucose tolerance test are 1. Normal, less than 140 mg per deciliter, milligram per deciliter. 2. Prediabetes, 140 to 199 mg per deciliter. 3. Diabetes, 200 mg per deciliter or higher. 4. Fasting plasma glucose. The fasting plasma glucose test measures your blood sugar levels after fasting for at least 8 hours. You'll take this test first thing in the morning and come into a healthcare provider's office or lab prior to eating breakfast. The criteria for the fasting plasma glucose test are 1. Normal, less than 100 mg per deciliter. 2. Prediabetes, 100 to 125 mg per deciliter. 3. Diabetes, 126 mg per deciliter or higher. 5. Random plasma glucose test. A random glucose test, or a casual plasma glucose test, is a blood sugar test you can take at any time. Healthcare providers usually call for this test if you demonstrate clear and severe diabetes symptoms. They will diagnose diabetes if your blood sugar is greater than or equal to 200 mg per deciliter. 6. Progression of type 2 diabetes. People typically develop prediabetes before the disease progressed to type 2 diabetes. Gestational diabetes, or diabetes during pregnancy, is another type of diabetes. Progress 1. Prediabetes. Prediabetes occurs prior to a diabetes diagnosis. Your blood sugar levels are higher than average but have not yet reached the levels to be diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. This type of diabetes is diagnosed with the standard diabetes diagnostic tests. There are no clear symptoms of prediabetes. Point 2. There are several risk factors that can lead to prediabetes, including abnormal cholesterol levels, age, i.e., 45 or older, family history of diabetes, high blood pressure, history of heart disease or stroke, obesity, prolonged physical inactivity. About 96 million people in the United States adults have prediabetes. A diagnosis of prediabetes is an indicator that you could develop type 2 diabetes over time. Progress to type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is characterized by highly elevated blood sugar levels. You might start presenting more obvious diabetes symptoms, such as an urge to urinate more frequently, feeling very thirsty or very hungry, even after you have eaten, extreme fatigue, blurry vision, wounds that are slow to heal, tingling, pain, or numbness in the hands or feet. A healthcare provider will use standard blood sugar tests to confirm your diagnosis if you have any of these symptoms or risk factors. They can also get you started on a treatment plan. Progress 3. Gestational diabetes. Gestational diabetes is a type of diabetes that can occur during pregnancy. This type of diabetes happens when your body doesn't process insulin correctly, resulting in increased blood sugar. A diagnosis of gestational diabetes can put you at risk of type 2 diabetes after you've given birth. Gestational diabetes is usually diagnosed 24 to 28 weeks into pregnancy during standard prenatal checkups with a healthcare provider. This type of diabetes is diagnosed using a 1 or 2-step process that involves modified versions of the oral glucose tolerance test. A quick review. Type 2 diabetes is one of the most common health conditions affecting people worldwide. This chronic disease causes abnormal insulin processing, leading to high blood sugar levels. Regularly testing your blood sugar levels will give a healthcare provider a clear picture of your health status and allow them to provide you with an accurate diagnosis. If your blood sugar levels are higher than average, a healthcare provider may order tests, including an A1C test, an oral glucose test, and a random plasma glucose test. Talk to a healthcare provider about a potential diabetes screening if you think you may be at risk. Please subscribe to the channel to support me so I can be motivated to make more videos sharing useful values. Thank you.